Hi, Run Your Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And I am so excited for you guys because we have the one, the only record breaker, record setter from Alabama. Loves the glitter, loves the swag. Guys, the one, the only Rachel Entrekin. Oh my word. I cannot believe we got her on the podcast. Huge shout out to our booking guys. They do such a phenomenal job. And guys, Rachel is absolutely fantastic. And one of the things that I love about her is after smashing records, after she gets done running, she goes back and gives back to the running community. She, on these ultra runs, will cook. She will be there cheering, be there helping. I absolutely love that. And the only thing that Rachel and I have in common, besides the fact that, we're Alabama girls, is the fact that she loves wearing glitter on her runs. So I feel like that makes us basically sisters, right, Rachel? Just kidding. Seriously, Rachel, guys, she's amazing. You guys are going to love her and her story. And the things that she says, that your attitude is in your control, things can only get better. Guys, she's just absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe that I got to sit down and hear her story. One of the things that she says is that to remember that this doesn't last forever. And a great nugget of wisdom that she gave was don't feed your negative feelings. And how many times do we do that? That we suffer with that imposter syndrome, or I shouldn't be here, or I can't believe I'm doing this, like I don't belong here. And we do. Everyone belongs in the running community. And Rachel is a great reminder of that with her story and all the things that she shares. Absolutely amazing. Follow her on social media. You'll love her running outfits. She's absolutely amazing. And guys, she reminds us that running is up to us. You make it what you want, and that we get to do this. That we don't have to, but we get to. And that's just absolutely amazing. So, Rachel, thank you for taking time to be on this podcast and share your incredible story and journey and all the amazing things that you're doing. And what an incredible woman for so many of our young girls to look up to. And for those of us that are in the running community, maybe you want to dabble in running. Rachel also gives some advice if you're wanting to dabble, not only in running, but also maybe to the trails or into ultras. She gives great advice for that. So thank you, Rachel, for sharing your story, for sharing your heart with the community, and for making it better. You're absolutely phenomenal, my friend. And I am just so honored that I get to know you, that I've gotten to know you and know your story. And Rachel's story is being fueled by 2 podcast partners this month. And that is Fresh Junkie Racing. Love them, guys. They're absolutely amazing. And UCP of Mobile. Super excited. We love what they do. They provide support and resources to our neighbors with disabilities, but also their families and helping one another. Again, pouring back in that community. Guys, definitely give to them. Find out how you can volunteer with them. UCP Mobile, they do an outstanding job. If you're not in the area, find out about your local UCP and how you can get involved and make a difference with them. I absolutely love that. Again, we believe that every person belongs on the pavement, and we are super excited that we have partnered with UCP this month and their amazing event that they put on Christmas Night and Lights, which all goes back to UCP of Mobile. So great job, everyone at UCP. Thank you for what you do. Thank you to the families that are involved with UCP. You guys are absolutely amazing. And thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing for providing such incredible racing events. Crossing the Finish Line is amazing, and Fresh Junkie Racing pours their heart and soul into it. Guys, there are racing events put on by Fresh Junkie from Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, here in the great state of Alabama, and they do such a phenomenal job with that, and they strive for perfection. And I absolutely adore everyone at Fresh Junkie Racing. They are my Fresh Junkie family. Not only from the ambassador side, but also from the Fresh Junkie team itself. They're mentors, they're friends, they're siblings. They're just all the things that make up family, and they love the running community. So check out Fresh Junkie Racing. You can find out more about UCP and Fresh Junkie on the Run Your Story website, as we love to highlight our podcast partners. So thank you to UCP Mobile, and thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing for providing such services to this community, to our running community, and making it better and fueling our run stories this month. All right, guys, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Rachel and her run story. Okay, guys, let me just say how excited I am because we have the Rachel I don't even know how to introduce you because you've broken all these records, you set new ones, and your swag running game is legit. Like 10 out of 10, Rachel.
Thank
And
you.
I have to say, the one thing we have in common is that we both love glitter.
Yeah, I'm new to the glitter train, but I really like it, especially the tattoos. They're so
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah, they're so
Mhm.
nice. So, yeah, I really like them.
And also, I'm gonna say I was already a fan, but I don't like you, Rachel, because you take fantastic running pictures.
Oh
Come
my
on,
gosh.
girl.
I
46
I wa
hours out on the trails and you look like a Barbie doll. I was like, Rachel,
well,
come on.
it has I have worked my way up because I have some truly hideous hunting photos.
I do
So,
not
don't
believe that for
worry.
anything.
Yeah, don't worry. There's a couple where I'm just like mid and it just, yeah, I'll send you a couple if I can find them because track me. I'm shocked to hear you say that. I actually joke with a lot of my friends that I take the worst running photos. I think it's just,
Whatever.
well,
Okay. Every
I think it's just that the photographers take more photos now. And so
okay.
there are better ones
Mhm.
available. So
Mhm.
yeah, because trust me, like I said, it has not always been I
Mm-mm.
have historically just been like, "Oh my god, look at this photo." That my friends laugh and
Stop
make
it.
fun of it because I just look terrible. Yeah. So,
I do not believe that for anything because if anyone and if you're not following Rachel, you should because I mean, an amazing athlete. So I'm excited because I don't know what your run story is. Like, how did you? One doesn't just wake up one day and say, "I'm going to go run an ultra marathon," and not only that, I'm going to go smash records. So, Rachel, how did we get here? What is your run story?
so I'm actually from Alabama also. I don't know if you knew
Here,
that. Yeah,
I did
I'm from
not know that.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I don't really care about football, but cheers. My family loves Alabama football. Actually, growing up, I decided to be an Auburn fan just to spite everybody in my family. But I was born in Birmingham, Alabama,
Okay.
and then we moved to Texas and then South Carolina and then back to Alabama up in Huntsville. And then for
Hmm.
about a year, I was in North Carolina before going to UAB. So
Oh wow.
I'm
Okay.
very, yeah. So I actually got into running. I would say like I don't know. I did like a gap year sort of thing between high school and college, and I discovered running there. But really, I got into it when I moved down to Birmingham. You know,
Mm,
new area I wanted to explore, and the easiest way to do that because I hate cycling is by running everywhere. And so I was pretty into it like immediately. It just felt like something that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence. And
mm.
it's funny because around campus, I was like, people would recognize me because I had really long blonde hair and I would wear it down. I had not mastered the bun technique yet. And so, yeah, I would like the blonde girl. And like, I would be walking through campus and people would be like, oh, yo, you're this blonde girl. So it was nice. I definitely started my identity as a runner, started, I would say,
Mm.
in college. So I originally was really into road racing. So, like,
Sure.
road
Mhm.
marathon, half marathon, and then I would do them a lot. Like I would probably do 2 to 3 a month,
Wow.
which is
Yeah.
very expensive. No, don't do the
Mhm.
math on that. But then I don't remember exactly when the Birmingham Ultra Trail Society started forming, but I was one of the first members of that because I lived right next to Ruffner Mountain, which is a
Mhm.
cool little park. And I could always convince a couple of my friends to go out and go running with me there. And then I don't remember what my first trail race was, but as soon as I got used to doing those, that was my preferred method of running. So I would do those events. I did my first 50K in 2000 and then I really slowly progressed. Like I said, I started running in 2010 and stuck with marathons and trail marathons for 3 years before I progressed in distance. So I did it really slowly. And then, yeah, so January of 2013 was my first 50K. And then that summer I did two 50 milers. Took a couple years before I was able to jump it up in distance, but I started doing fixed time events, which I really like because you're in charge of how much you want to run during those.
Mm.
And then did my first 100 in 2016, I think. Still, but it was around the track. No, like I said, yeah, very much into control all the variables. Like I was able to
Mhm.
see my stuff and see an aid station every mile. So it was
Sure.
awesome. Yeah. And then, yeah, I've just dabbled in like 100 milers, fixed time event, 50 milers. It, I moved in 2016. I moved out of Alabama because I graduated physical therapy school and moved out to Washington. And that's when I really just dove into, so gorgeous out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, did the Wonderland Trail unsupported, which is around the base of Mount Rainier. Actually, I circumnavigated all of the volcanoes unsupported.
Well,
Really gave me, yeah. Yeah, the
of
Wonderland
course you
Trail.
did.
Yeah, it was. I really, I would love to go back. It's on my bucket list, but it's 93 miles and it has nearly 30,000 feet of climbing. So doing that definitely gave me quite a lot of confidence in my ability to take care of myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, because especially in Alabama, you're not, but like you're not. It's not. I don't know. It's just different when there's elements that could come for you, like
Sure.
snow and rain, and you could
Mhm.
fall off of a.
That is absolutely insane, Rachel. Oh my goodness. Well, I will say this. I got new respect when this past year did at Oak Mountain, King's Chair,
Oh
King of the
yeah.
Mountain. Yeah.
Yep. And
That I was about to ask. I'm like, let me just say this. I run. I'm a back of the pack decent runner and I work out. And that was a humbling experience. Like you're going up it. And like you said, Birmingham's probably one of the most hilliest places in Alabama. We're a beach area. We don't really have, especially in the mobile area, we're flatlanders. We don't have hills. And
yeah.
we're like not even a half mile into it. And my friend Sky, that was with me, who had talked me into this, was like, "Are you okay?" Because, girl, I sound like I had asthma. And she was like, "Do you have asthma?" And I was like, "No, but I swear I work out and I run." And it just gave me a whole new appreciation for one trail runners that go, like you said, like elevation of 30,000. Like that elevation
Yeah.
was not 30,000 at Oak Mountain, but that was enough for me to be like, I'm good. But then also for ultra marathoners, like you said, there's all these elements that come at you and all these things that happen that you're like, it's uncontrollable. You went from a track to a volcano. Like,
Yep.
what happens? Like, what?
Yeah.
Talking about
No, I've
uncontrolling
always,
circumstances.
yeah, I've been, it's funny because I have been pretty systematic on accident about how I've progressed in my running. Because no, the first, I'll just take 100 for, I guess, example. I always like to feel successful at the preceding distance before I move on to the next one. So I had done a couple 100Ks and I had done a couple of unsupported, like
Mhm.
fastest down time before I signed up for my first trail 100. And I had also
Mm.
done that track 100, and I felt really good about my performance at that track 100. So the first trail 100 I did in Washington was 8 loops of 12.5 miles.
Wow.
I took away a little bit, added a little bit more variables. And then once I felt good about that performance, I didn't nail that race by any means, but I didn't die. And so after that, I think actually after that, I did the Wonderland Trail. I think I did that same year. So that was a completely unsupported, it's a little bit under 100 miles, but no, it's functionally the same. So yeah, I did that race, or I did that SKT. I did that with person. So neither he nor I had any outside support, but we did have each other more helpful. And then the year after that, I find that considered to be my first mountain race, which was the I Am Tough out in Idaho. Super
Mhm.
awesome race.
Mm.
But that's 100 miles. Actually, it's 108 miles in the remote wilderness of Idaho. And it is stunning. And aid stations are every 10 miles apart and a little bit. I think it went from 4,000 to maybe 7,500. And that race to me, I think, was the first one where I finished and I was like, oh, I might be good at this. And that was
Wow.
back in, I think it was 2018. You did 2018 or 2019. And then after that, I love the trail 100. I tend to have kind of two seasons with my running. It's in the summer, it's all about being outside in the mountains. And then, especially being in Washington, because that's the only times they're available. And in the winter, I would do a lot of 6 time events. So 12 hours all the way up to
Mhm.
48. I've done a couple 48. So that's when you work on your speed and your form and really nailing nutrition and figuring out how long you can go without sleep. And
Mhm.
then you learn, so that almost feels like going to school. It's like running school.
Mm.
And then you take what you learned and it applied because it does. So I don't know. I know that the 6 time running is not the most exciting, but for me, it's always been really social. Because if you're
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
trail, you might not see anybody, especially if you're at toward the front of the pack. I've done races where I've seen nobody for like
Mhm.
hours. So it's really nice to see somebody or see people all of the time and get people all of the time. And then too, is that it's really good for figuring out how to manage yourself as the miles progress. So yeah, there's some
That's
fun,
really good. Mhm.
yeah, there's some fun events in the Southeast too. The Southeast has a lot of big time events. So if you need any recommendations, I can tell you.
Oh, I love I love Rachel like, come on, Allison, let us do this. Yeah, okay. Love that.
Yeah.
So when did you I know you just said that there was this moment where you're like, I might be good at this. When you set out to break these records, were you intentionally setting out to try to break them or were you like, I just want to finish?
Want to do my best.
Mhm,
I certainly will take a look at what the course records are and see if that's
mhm,
something that is even reasonable for me to try. But I just go out there and I just see what the kind of day I want to have is. This year I did High Lonesome, which is a 100-miler out here in Colorado. And I knew what the course record was, but when I was in the race, I actually couldn't remember what the numbers were. So I just ran as fast as I could. And when I finished, I remember I had to ask the race director, did I do it? 'Cause, yeah, I don't, you can only really ever run your best. And I've not really been one for extrinsic motivation. I have to
mhm.
run based off of things that I want to achieve. And usually I find that setting process goals, how do I want this race to go instead of what time do I want to finish in? Setting process goals means that I don't necessarily have to win and I don't have to get the course record and I don't have to do whatever in order to still feel proud of the performance that I put out.
Sure.
Process goals can be anything. I remember at Coca Dona this year, I had 3 goals and none of them were tied to time. I wanted to finish the last climb with a better attitude was one.
No.
My goal. I wanted to figure out eating better because the first year I
Mhm,
just did not feel very well. What's my other goal? I don't remember what the goal was, but I had 3 of them. But yeah, none of them were tied to, and I wanted to be close to Courtney DeWalter, who was running that race. So by a mile,
mhm.
I wanted to be within 4 miles of her. But yeah, none of those, one of my goals was literally be second to somebody. So yeah, none of those were tied to placement or time or anything. It was just, if I do these things, I will be proud of
Mhm.
that's from sure.
That's amazing. I love that, and I love how you said that's what motivates you. You don't need the record. It's great to have it, and I love that. I love that spirit about you. That's what running is about. It's just it's your story. It's your feet hitting the pavement, you putting in the time and seeing what the outcome is. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. So we were talking about your goals and how you got to be where you are. And I love the fact that you are not somebody that focuses on, I like the fact that you said you look at the number and it's there, but you also forget about the number.
Yep. Yeah. Well, because I think that the worst thing you can do is get to the finish
Mhm.
line and not feel proud of that.
Mm,
I don't know. I actually went a couple of probably like 6 or 7 years ago now. I went through this period where my focus was winning
mm,
and it just did not spark any type of joy. So I remember I was training really hard for this 100-mile race that was close to the city that I was living
mhm,
in when I was up in Washington. And I don't know, I think there was a lot of external pressure because I had been doing pretty well at races and everybody was talking about like how I was probably going to win.
mm,
And I trained way too hard for that race, kind of with my own expectations of, well, that's what it takes to win, sort of
mm.
thing. And then by race day, I was completely toast. I wound up having to go to the hospital after the race was over,
Oh,
and I did not win, spoiler. And it was just like, it was a tough lesson to
mm,
learn, but I'm thankful that it happened because I don't know. I think if your only motivation is winning, then there's only one outcome that's going to leave you feeling satisfied when the race is over. And that's not
mm.
good. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think winning it's fun. Of course, winning is fun and setting course records is fun and all that stuff is fun, but it's never my
Mm,
primary goal.
mm. I appreciate you saying that too, as somebody who's the back of the pack. I appreciate hearing that from a winner to say, it's not all there is, guys. Like, enjoy the journey and where you are. Enjoy being outside, and whether it's on the trails and the trails or surviving it or surviving the ultra, just get out there and have those
Right.
other goals as well. That's amazing. So,
Yeah.
obviously, you've already hit on one of the lessons that you've learned, but what are some other ones that you've learned in your running journey?
I think a lot of lessons that I've learned during running can be also applied to life
Yeah.
situations too. So, a big one that I've learned that I've carried over to life is that everything, no matter how terrible it
Mhm.
feels, gets
Oh,
better.
yeah.
And it usually gets better a lot faster than you think it will.
Mm.
And that I think particularly over the combination of years when I was doing Coca Dona, a big lesson that I learned is that your attitude is something that is completely within your control
Mhm.
and that you can change. And it's not easy to do all the time. So, for instance, at Coca Dona in 2024, I was going up this climb. It's the very last climb, and it's steep and it's terrible. And you're at mile 230 and you're going up a 3,000-foot climb, which is a little, I don't know, it's just tough.
Yeah.
And so I was bonking and my attitude was just terrible. And that carried me over into the finish line. So I finished with this terrible attitude and I just won the race. Like, it was just dumb. The entire thing was dumb. And I lived with that dissatisfaction of my attitude for a year until I took Coca Dona this year. And that's why one of my goals was having a better attitude in that climb. And I felt myself getting into that tired and cranky headspace this year. And I had the same person pacing me. And I did that on purpose because I knew he and I chatted at length about how I wanted my attitude to be better. But yeah, and he started noticing it at the same time I did. Hey, you're getting a little cranky. Like, why don't you eat a snack or something? And so, yeah, I was able to, step one is notice that the thing you don't want to happen is happening. And then step two is throw all of your tactics at that thing so that what you don't want to happen doesn't happen. And so I ate some food. I made sure that I had some caffeine. And then the biggest thing for me was just shut up and remember that this is not going to last forever. If you give your negative feelings a voice, so if you talk about how tired you are or whatever, it just makes that thing a lot more real, for me at least. So usually if I'm feeling terrible, I'm just going to be silent and just I'm not saying anything. I'm not giving this any power. I'm just going to wait to go away. And then eventually it did. And I finished this year ecstatically happy. And I don't know, I think that's the thing that with this year's race I'm the most proud of is I was able to recognize when I was getting into a headspace I didn't want to be in, and I was able to get myself out of it. So yeah, that alone is worth 20 course records.
Wow. Yeah. I'm smiling because it's like I can just feel the joy of what you accomplished, not just crossing the finish line, but in a better headspace. Because then that also, one of the things that I've learned from the ultramarathon world is that you guys have crew people that are there with you and they want to be a part of this journey too. And if you come across and you're like, then they're going to be like, whoa. And so for you to come across and be like, yes, that fuels other people too. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something too that you can take how to change your attitude and you can apply it to real life situations. If you're frustrated at work or in a relationship or something, you now have this ability to change your attitude that you practice in a situation that is very hard when you're exhausted and hungry and tired. And if you're still able to make that change, then that feels really powerful. So yeah, I don't know. Running rules. It teaches me more.
Sure,
It teaches me a lot.
absolutely. So let's shift a little bit to what has been your favorite race?
Man, I've done a lot of races. I have a lot of answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would say among my favorite races would be Coca Dona, obviously. It's just such a vibe. The people that are there are just so interested in pushing themselves. And there's always some incredible stories that come out of that race, all the way from the front of the pack to the back. Just every single person out there is doing something that they thought was impossible. And that race also helped put me on the map. So I'm always grateful to that race. I did the Mammoth 200 this year and it was amazing. It was a really fun racing experience because I was up at the front with this guy, Jimmy Elam, for all of the race. And I've never had to race a 200 before. Like usually you're just trying to survive until you're 3/4 of the way done. And then you look around, there's nobody within 2 hours of you. So it's like, well, okay, I'm just going to finish this one out. But with the Mammoth, Jimmy was within an hour of me almost the entire race. And so that was fun to get to push my own physical abilities a little bit. There's a race in Washington State called Plain, Plain. It is a self-supported either 100K or 100 miler. There's no course markings. There's no aid stations. There's 3 or 5, depending on which course you're choosing. Search and rescue checkpoints. But if you say anything more than hi to them, you're disqualified.
What?
Yeah. Really fun. It's extremely beautiful. And the thing that I love about that race also is the community that surrounds it, because the same kind of people do it every year. And you get to see those people again. There's always you meet in I don't know if it's a church or what, like a Boy Scout structure, but there's always a spaghetti potluck dinner the night before the race. That's fine. And there's always a couple people who it's their first time doing it and they're just terrified. And we just tell war stories about the race, which I have a lot of war stories about that race. But that one's really fun. I really like that one. And then there's another in California that's called the Hunter S. Thompson. It is either a 50K or a 50 miler, but same kind of thing. There's no aid stations, there's no course markings. It's just like an urban adventure run around San Francisco. Though I guess there are actually aid stations. People within the running club there will just set up aid stations. So that's always nice. But otherwise, you just go into stores in the city and buy supplies. It's really funny. I love that race. And then probably another one that I'm a little bummed I'm not going to wind up doing this year is one called Across the Years. It's a fixed time event. It's in Arizona. I've done what have I done now? I think I've done the 24 and the 48 a couple of times. But that's another one where kind of, again, the same people show up. And so every year you get to ring in the new year by running in a circle with all of your crazy closest friends. They have an Air Viper race, and so they really go all out, and they have champagne and streamers and the little hats that you put on during the new year. It's really fun. It's really fun. So it doesn't really work with my schedule as well this year, so I'm not going to get to do it. But honestly, maybe I'll just go do. They have a 6-hour and a 12-hour, and I'm like, maybe I'll just go do those because it's so hard to not do that race because it's just so fun. So I don't know. I probably have 100 answers for that question, but there's like 5.
So the flip side of that, is there a race that you're like, I don't ever care to do that one again, or I want to go back and like you did earlier where you're like, I want to go back and not necessarily be my time, but have a better attitude about it, which I love that. I've never thought about a race like that. That's really cool. So is there a race that's like that for you right now where you're like, I want to go back and have a better experience, or I just don't ever care to do that race again?
Yeah, I would say that there's probably 2. So Cascade Crest, I did. That was the one that my only goal was winning, and that I did not win. I got my butt handed to me. So that one, I don't know when I'm going to do that one again, but that one, I still had a decent finish, but I think I could both do better on a performance side, and I could also do way better on a mental health side for that race. So that's one. And then there's a race over in Greece, actually, that I did last year called the Spartathlon. And that one was another one where I just went into it with the wrong attitude and the wrong headspace, and I did not finish that one. It's 150 something miles. And I made it about a little over halfway. So probably like mile 90 maybe before dropping. And I didn't know what I was doing. That was my first race in Europe. I had done one other race in Canada before, but that was, the Greek racing system was very different than what I was used to. And the aid stations were strange. And I just was not prepared. That one is not one that I am necessarily wanting to go back to soon.
Okay.
We'll still have a little bit of PTSD from that, but I do want to go back. And again, that one, probably similar to Cascade Crest. Like, I just want to put a finish at that race. And now I know what to expect from the organization and from the aid stations, and I know how the race goes. So I think I was just so stressed, and a lot of the information from the race organization came out really late, like 2 weeks till race day, and I'm getting on a flight and don't actually know where we're staying, which is standard for that race. I just didn't know to expect that. And so now that I know to expect that, I can like laugh about it, but at the time I was not laughing. I was just stressed out.
So, and you mentioned the rest stations are different as opposed to here in America. So what's the difference that you experience there?
So at Spartathlon in particular, there are aid stations every about 2 miles. So they're pretty frequent. And they also had very different types of food at the aid stations. So there wasn't, I guess there was ice, but the drinks were not cold. And it was a very hot day. So nothing was really cold. So you're drinking lukewarm Coke, and it's just like, well, this is fine. And then I know they had some sort of, and again, everything's in Greek, which I don't.
Really? You don't do that?
Yeah. You don't say. But there was like an orange beverage that I really liked. It was slightly fizzy. And I would just drink one of those at every single aid station. And then I found out later that it has almost no calories in it. I was like, what's the point of this? So I was like bonking pretty
I see.
horribly.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of the food there was, I guess, traditional Greek
Mm-hmm.
food. So there was a lot of nuts and a lot of dried fruit, some honey.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know, it was funny like looking back, but I just did not know that was what. And like shortbread crackers, which again, all those things are fine, but it is 95 degrees. And I'm just sitting here chugging honey out of an applesauce packet. So I just didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't
Yeah.
know. And I just wasn't in a space where I could rally that
Mm-hmm.
day. So yeah, it was odd.
Getting, yeah.
I think when I go back, I will be, I think, probably bringing a lot more of my own
I was just about to
nutrition.
ask that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will be doing that, I think. And I mean, I think it's fine to supplement with stuff from the aid
Sure.
stations, but I didn't, I was running for a while with this woman who was an American and she had all of her own stuff. And I was like, oh, that probably would have been a great idea. And she wound up being the only female American to finish. So
Wow. Get out. Wow. That's incredible.
yeah,
Man.
it was a rough year for the American squad.
Well, it's also like you said, it's a lesson learned of you go somewhere else, and especially another country, and they do things differently, which not good or bad. It's just different than what
Yeah,
you're used
it was just
to.
different.
And because fuel is so important in these ultra marathons, you're on your feet constantly for miles and miles. And so, and then, like you said, what was it, 95 degrees? So the heat's being
Yeah, it was
down.
super hot.
Yeah. So it's, if you don't have that, and then again, we like cool, refreshing things and to at least cool off a little bit. And if you're not having that, it changes the whole dynamic. So I could see how that would be like, I want to go back, but I want to do it my way.
Yeah. And that was another one too, where I think there were quite a lot of expectations put on me
Mhm.
that I wasn't in a place to mentally deal with them well. So yeah, I think I started out that race a little bit too hot. I knew my pace was probably not sustainable, but I was running with that other woman and that to me felt valuable, even though we were going really fast. And then, yeah, I just died. So definitely, I think doing that race at my own pace without pressures put on me externally and bringing my own nutrition is probably the key to success at that one.
Well, speaking of nutrition, let's go into pre-race routine. How does that look? And then also, do you have something, especially for your ultra marathons, is there a favorite meal that you like to have before?
Yeah, I used to have be almost like a baseball player with my rituals that I would do before races, but I don't have that anymore. I think the thing that I always try to do is, especially if it's going to be something that I'm out overnight or multiple nights, the week leading up to the event, I try to get a lot of sleep. But other than that, like foods, I love Mexican food and I love Italian food and I'm vegetarian, so I love a good veggie burger. But I don't really have a standard thing that I eat before every race. I don't usually go for new stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah, I did that once and that did not go well. So, but yeah, whatever is hearty and filling and familiar is probably what I'll eat the day before. But yeah, I don't know. I do a lot of random events and a lot of the times they're trail races. And so I might be sleeping in my car the night before the race.
That's awesome.
And so you don't really you don't really get to have your spaghetti dinner if you're camping out in your car. You just grab crap from the gas station and hope it works.
I love that.
But
So you cross the finish line, you're done. What does that look like to you? What's your routine next?
I guess it really just depends on what the distance is that I just did. Because if it's a 50K, I'll just hang out for the day and whatever. So things that are really long have a very long cutoff. So for instance, at High Lonesome this year, the cutoff is 36 hours and I finished in 21 hours. And so my partner was still out running. And so I went back to the aid stations and I took a nap and I took a shower, but I went back to the aid stations and met up with him, like cheered him in and cheered along some people. And then I did the same thing at Mammoth this year. And that was super fun. Like I finished the race and there were still 3 days left.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I went back to a bunch of aid stations and I had a couple friends who were running and I cheered them in and cheered in random people and made egg burritos and stuff. It was really fun, especially since now, typically after I finish races, if I've done well, like I'm asked to give interviews or help with the live stream or whatever. So I'm sticking around. And so if I'm doing that, I might as well be out on the course giving as much as I can back. So that I've enjoyed doing that the past, I would say maybe year in particular. It has been something that I've really enjoyed doing. is going back out. Because how cool is it? Like you're in the middle of a race and the winner was at your aid station, like flipping.
Wow.
Like I think that's
yeah.
it's fun. I've gotten a lot of I'm not doing it for positive feedback, clearly, but at Mammoth, this guy came up to me and he said, "Hey, I just want you to know my wife is running the race and she thought it was absolutely awesome that you were out here." So I don't know. It's just like, that's the kind of community that I want to help create. And you can't do that, I don't know, sitting on the sidelines. Like you have to be, if you want to create a community, then you have to.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's so cool. You know what? I would come do an ultra maybe one day just so you're there and you're flipping burgers and you're giving me burgers.
Yeah. If you ever do Kentucky, let me know, because I volunteered at the Pinnacle Aid Station. Back when I was living in Alabama, I volunteered there a bunch, and I was in charge of the grill.
Okay.
It was super fun.
Oh, so we should add that to your resume. Grill master.
Grill master, yes. I was annihilating. I could make 100 different types of eggs.
You go, girl. Okay. All right. I love that. All right. I have to know, what is a running item that you will not go without?
That I will not go without. Probably, I have this pair, and I guess I hesitate to say that I won't go without it, because I will if it's a short race or if it's like a run around the neighborhood. But there are these shorts from Riori.
Oh,
I'm obsessed with them. They're called the Studio Pocket Short. They're not even a running short. I think they're for Pilates, but I don't care. They're like the spandexy type. They don't rise up either. And they have 2 pockets, and it perfectly fits my phone.
Absolutely.
And I thought that they were no longer in stock, but then some woman messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, are these the shorts you're always talking about?" And I was like, "Oh my God, they are." And so I bought 4 more pairs. So I think they actually are still in stock. So yeah, I love those shorts. And it's nice because I don't always want to wear a pack, especially if it's just like a neighborhood run or something like that, or something that's under 2 hours or around 2 hours, where I don't really need to bring anything. I can just slide my phone in my shorts and leave. So there's not enough women's apparel that has pockets.
Preach.
Yeah. I like those. Yeah, I like that those shorts exist.
You need to create a brand with all your funky designs and put them on shorts and pockets, and let's go.
Agreed. Yeah, I should do that. Maybe I'll work with Precision. They've been the ones who are putting out that button-down shirt that I think is so sick. Yeah. They've been fun to work with because they are a nutrition brand, but they have these button-down shirts that I tried for the first time over the summer, and I was obsessed with them immediately. And yeah, they worked with me to design my own shirt.
Love that.
Yeah. So you can order them online, but they're so freaking comfortable, especially like in hotter climates. I was in Florida a couple weeks ago, and I brought them, and I was running in them, and oh my God, they're so comfortable to run in. So
that's amazing. Yeah. And like I said, you add your glitter to that. And I was saying, okay, Rachel, you got a little run swag going on. Get it, girl. Get it.
Look good. Step 1 is look good. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about running shoes. What do you like to run in?
So I was a big Topo person for a while. And I tried hard to get them to like work with me, and it never really went anywhere. And I've gotten to the point now where it's like, okay, well, I want somebody who's interested in working with me. So I had to close that door. I wear them still sometimes. But yeah, so this year has been an adventure in shoes that I'm trying out. So for a minute there, I was wearing the Cloud Ultra Pros from On. Those are really comfortable, I think. And then I've been wearing a lot of different Hokas. And I've never been a Hoka person before until this year when I tried them out, I think at a States run or something. And they were great. And so I started wearing them a lot more. So I would say on a day-to-day, I probably wear those the most. I ran Mammoth in those. I use the Mafate 5s. I'm a little bit leery of the carbon plate stuff. Topo's never had carbon plates, so I don't rely on those by any means. So yeah, the Mafate 5s don't have carbon in them. They're just really comfortable. And then recently, I actually got sent a couple pairs of Nordas.
Interesting. Okay.
You know that brand, they are really expensive, which is nice. But the material is sustainably sourced, and they also last. Because I chatted with a couple people that work at Norda, because the price point to me is something that is important as a consumer. And I was like, it's fine that you want to charge this, but you better have a good reason why. They basically said, well, these shoes last 700 miles. And it's like, oh, well, that's a good reason. So if you have a shoe that's lasting twice as long as other shoes, then it's very good for the planet. You're not creating more product. And then, yeah, they're so comfortable. So I have a couple pairs of 005s, and then I have a pair of 001As. All their names are very weird. Like robots, but they're really comfortable shoes. They run a little small though. So if we're looking into buying a pair, I would go up a half to a full size.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is there, but they are, if you get the right size, they are so comfortable. And they also don't have carbon plates. So not that I'm talking about carbon plates like they're evil. I don't know what carbon plate are necessarily, but I think they allow for a little bit. I don't know. I'm a physical therapist by trade. And I know there have been some people who have been injured and they claim that it's because of carbon plates. So I'm just like, hey, I've never really used them before, and I don't care to rely on anything too much. So, but yeah, they're great shoes. So I'd say, yeah, Hoka's and recently Nordas are probably the ones that this year I've really dove into.
Are you still in road shoes at all, or are you strictly now trails and ultra shoes?
Well, Hoka has a bunch of road
Right.
shoes. Topo does as well. Actually, if I do wear road shoes, I'm probably going to wear a pair of
Okay.
Topos. But out here where I live, there's not a lot of asphalt that I run on.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, so I live in Conifer, which is just outside of Denver, up about 3,000 feet. So yeah, there's a lot of dirt roads. So it's not, I don't know, I don't really feel like I need to wear road
Sure.
shoes when I'm running out here. Like my neighborhood is almost entirely dirt road,
Wow.
which is nice. Yeah. And actually, we have a trail system at the base of our neighborhood.
Get out of
All-
Dodge.
Yeah, it's all beautiful single track. It's awesome. There's probably, I would say 15 miles of trails, maybe.
What?
Right at the base. Yeah, right at the base of my neighborhood. It's amazing. That's amazing. So anyway.
That's
So yeah,
incredible.
yeah. So I don't really tend to wear a whole lot of road
Sure,
shoes
sure.
anymore, just because I need the grip that trail
Yeah.
shoes provide. But if I do, it probably will be whatever. I guess I don't actually know if Hoka, I don't know if I have any road Hokas. I should probably look. But yeah, probably I'll just use a pair of Topos that I already have.
All right. So for your long runs, because you hit on this a little bit for Greece, and that is how you like to fuel. So that's one of the things that I love about the trail running community and ultramarathoners is it's not just these gels, that it's whole food. So how do you fuel, Rachel?
So it depends on, I guess, the race length.
Okay.
So if it's going to be just the daytime, so if it's 100K or less, I might use a couple of real food things. So my go-to trifecta of real food that works for me is pretzels, which is very odd because they're very dry, but I love them. The pretzels, I'll use some sort of gummy candy.
Ooh.
So either Sour Patch Kids or, I don't know, whatever Haribo things that I find at the gas station. And then I also really like nuts. So cashews and pistachios I really like. And then obviously I'll use traditional race fuel. So I don't like gels actually, but I use a lot of precision products. And so I'll use their chews that are amazing. So I'll use those guys and then whatever drink mix.
Okay.
So that's if it's during the day. Then if I'm going into the night, particularly for longer things like Coca Dona or Mammoth, for instance, where I'm in there like not one, but probably two nights. Night is usually when I do a lot of real food.
Okay.
So at Mammoth, I discovered broth and rice, which was like, oh, it was so important because you don't have to chew it. After a while, you get really tired of chewing. And so, yeah, you can just slurp it down. It's nice. I'll do a lot of ramen. I'm also really big into mashed potatoes.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much if it's beige, I'm game. Well, every once in a while, I'll do a wrap of some sort. Actually, at Coca Dona this year, my parents were there. They came from Alabama to watch me do Coca Dona. And my mom went out to Taco Bell and got some bean and cheese burritos. And they were incredible. Yeah. Which I know it's super bold to eat Taco Bell during a race. I think my mom bought like 3 of them. And I took one of them with me. And then at every aid station, I think this was at mile 210 or so. And every single time I met up with my crew, I was like, yo, give me that other burrito. They were so good. It was just like, it was different. It was nice.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, as a general rule, though, if it's beige-ish or like a shade of brown, it is a food that I'm probably going to be interested in.
Okay.
So, Yeah.
I love that. When you think about running, is there a memory that you have that just makes you smile?
Oh my gosh, I have 100 memories that make me smile when I think about running, but I think most of those involve very special
Mm.
moments, doing hard things with my friends. I remember going to Montana with my buddy Steven, and we were climbing up this mountain that was overlooking a lake, and we just got 3/4 of the way up, and I just started boohooing, and we hugged, and that was an awesome, I think it was Mount Brown in Glacier National Park. And that is an incredible
Mm.
moment. And my buddy Jake, I can think of 100 runs where we are laughing or crying or hugging or whatever. I don't know. I think that my favorite running memories always are shared ones
Mm.
with people that I care
Mm.
about. Getting to be with friends while they do their longest run, thinking that, oh, I never thought I would be able to run this
Mm.
far. And they crushed it. So I don't necessarily think I have one memory that stands out necessarily. It's like a lot of shared moments with people I care
Oh,
about.
I love that so much. And then it goes back to what you said earlier, and that is if you want to be a part of the community, be involved in the community and make it what you want it. And I love that. Oh, that's amazing. Do you ever listen to music when you're running?
I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I do. I won't when I'm
Okay.
racing. I won't always, because out here, and I guess really everywhere in the US, there's a lot of bears and
Hmm.
wildlife that you don't want to creep up on, and you also don't want them to creep up
Sure.
on you. And so if I'm out in a remote area on trail, I probably won't
Hmm.
either. But yeah, if I'm doing a neighborhood loop or if I'm running in a city somewhere, I might listen to one headphone, listen to music
Well,
or a
I
podcast
was
or
going to say,
something.
so what is your playlist?
I like pretty much
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of modern country, but I love bluegrass.
Get it.
Big into blue. Yeah, I love bluegrass. Yeah, I think it's Green Sky Bluegrass is a great
Okay.
band. But yeah, I like, I mean, anything from classical music to classic rock to rap. Like, it's probably all on my phone. I actually discovered, so I have
Yeah.
Spotify, and I discovered that
Hmm.
where if you find somebody whose taste in music that you
Hmm.
like, you get them to send you their Discover
Hmm.
playlist, which I love. I'm a big Discover playlist
Uh-huh.
person. But you can save their playlist. And so now I have probably 6 Discover playlists
Wow.
that I listen to, and they're all people whose music tastes I like. So it usually is 12 hours of new music a week that I get to listen to.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's a life
Very-
hack. So
I love
yeah.
that.
Yep.
Let's shift a little bit to recovery because I can assume, just being the basic runner that I am, not the ultra star that you are, that recovery is crucial. And also, you coming from a PT background. So, how does recovery look like for you?
Yeah, this is an answer that baffles everybody. So I have a general rule where the number of nights of sleep that I miss is the number of weeks I take, not off, but I just don't care. So for
Oh, okay.
instance, with high lonesome, yeah, so with high lonesome, I was out there, I missed 1 night of sleep. So the next week, I would go running if I felt like
Hmm.
it, but I wasn't trying to hit any numbers. I wasn't trying to do anything with my training. It was just like I'm out there and I'm enjoying it, and
Mm.
then there's no. So Coca Dona, the first year I was out there 3 nights. This year I was out there 2, so it was like 3 weeks I was off, 2 weeks I was off, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I tend to recover, I think, pretty well. I have discovered that's a superpower that I have, is
Mm.
that I can finish a race and like still feel pretty good. So I don't know if that means I should probably try pushing myself a little bit harder. I don't know. But even after Mammoth this
Mhm.
year, where I felt like I was pushing myself pretty hard, I was back to running the next week.
Wow.
Not fast, and let's be realistic. So, yeah, I felt good enough to get out and go for a couple jogs. But I don't know, I think it's important to, I am a PT, so I have a good
Hmm.
awareness of how things are supposed to feel. And one lesson that I really think fixed time has taught me is this an injury or is this something that just sucks right now?
Sure. Hmm.
Like, I'll be running and my toe will just be killing me, or something will just be like, "Oh my god, surely I've messed this up."
Mm.
And then within 20 minutes, I don't even remember that was
Mm.
hurting. So I think it is really lucky that I'm a PT, because I do know what sensations are not normal. And then I'm able to address those things without having to go actually see
Yeah, sure.
somebody,
Yep.
usually. Usually. So yeah, that definitely is helpful. But yeah, I don't really think I eat a lot during
Hmm.
recovery weeks, I would say. Like after Mammoth, I felt like I was a bottomless pit for 2 weeks.
Sure.
And I sleep a
Hmm.
lot, especially now that I am not having to get up early for
Hmm.
work. I get to sleep pretty much as I want to, which is a huge blessing because I think sleep is super important. Eating and sleeping, those are that's not rocket science, but those are the best ways to, I think, recover quickly.
That's good. Do you do any cross training?
I will if I have to. Yeah. But I don't typically. I'm really 1 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to do Pilates.
Okay.
Back when I lived in Los Angeles for about 4 years and I loved Pilates. And I thought it was a really good kind of cross training thing. I would go like between once and twice a week to like reformer Pilates, but we live out there. There's not really a whole lot of services close by. So I might do some like stretching on my own, rarely. But if I start to get, or if I notice that I have a problem, then I'll start doing more cross training. But yeah, otherwise I'm a terrible PT. I don't. What? I do get, this is not cross training. Maybe this is more of a recovery thing, but I've started trying to go get more regular massages.
Okay.
That has been nice. So I go to the little, like, out here, there's a lot of Asian style massage parlors where they basically just beat you into the table. And I think I like these ones. Yeah. They'll pop your back 100 times. Oh. So.
Rachel, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to start running, or if they're coming back from an injury, or maybe they have a misconception about what running is or what a runner looks like? What is a piece of advice you'd give them?
Well, I think the great thing about running is it is entirely up to you. Like you can make it as easy or as hard as you want it to be. And so because of that, I really do think that it is such a accessible activity. I don't know. I just think that it's so worthwhile to start doing because it translates into being able to have more stamina in your day-to-day life if your cardiovascular activity is better. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it is an activity for anybody, regardless of what your actual fitness level is. There's a guy who actually I found out is also from Alabama, but his name is Dakota and he calls it the couch to Coca Dona.
Okay.
He's never been a runner before, but he wants to try to, within about a year, run the Coca Dona. I think he's on the wait list right now, but assuming he gets off, and he's put in a lot of training, and I think he's doing his first 50 miler in December.
Wow.
But his only goal is, I just want to finish this race. Whereas my goal is like, well, I want to get top 5, or I want to finish this race before Wednesday night kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think you can tier running so that a variety of fitness levels are able to do it. And that is what I think is so nice about it. So whether you're coming back from an injury or whether you just needed to take time off for whatever reason, or whether you've been doing this for 10 years, like you can always make it the amount of challenge that you want to make it.
That's good. I love that.
Yeah.
Rachel, when you're out there alone and there's no one with you, or you want to give up and it's terrible, or like you said, you need to eat and you're in a bad mood. Is there a mantra?
Yeah.
Is there something that you tell yourself to get through to the next mile?
Yeah. So I came up with this one a couple of years ago, I think. And it's, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. So yeah, that's the one that I usually, if I'm like, it's like, well, you're the one who signed yourself up for this. You don't have to do anything. You chose to do this. So the least you can do is have a better attitude about it. So yeah, I would say that's probably my mantra is you don't have to do this. You get to do this.
I love that. Let's talk about goals. Do you have any? 'Cause you've smashed some, my friend. Like you've done some incredible things.
Yeah.
So I guess I should rephrase this. Like what else is out there for you, Rachel? What are you eyeing?
What's left? Yeah, it is tricky actually, because I don't think I really want to run any further than Coca Dona. I think typically with goals, traditionally it's either, well, now you go further or you go faster. So I don't like either of those goals. So my goals are trying to run in new places.
Oh, okay.
So I actually would really like to go back to Europe and try racing in Europe a little bit more. I actually signed up for a race that's in Italy next March that I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, because it is different out there and they do kilometers and stuff. And so that's going to be strange. But yeah, so that race, I also signed up. I've never really done a stage race before. And I signed up, or at least I put my application in to do this race that's in Bhutan. That's a stage race over 5 days. It's anywhere between, I want to say it's 25 and like 35 miles a day. So that's just kind of like something different. Because yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, again, trying to set goals that are like I want to be the fastest or whatever is not always what I want to do.
Mm.
So, and then too, like I definitely don't necessarily want to run any further during a race setting than like Coca Dona. Now, I do really want to set, I like the FKTC,
Mhm.
the fastest known
Yep.
times. And I was actually talking to Kevin, my partner, yesterday about the Colorado Trail and the Washington Pacific Crest Trail section are two things that I'm really interested in. And those are about 400 plus miles a piece. So I don't know. But yeah, I think just trying to expand where it is that I'm running and what types of races I'm doing. Big's Backyard Ultra is going on right now. I've never run a backyard race, so maybe that's something I might
Okay.
try, or maybe trying to qualify for the 24-hour US team would be something that could be fun. So yeah, I don't know. Goals are constantly shifting based off of, I'm a very temporal bias. So So it's like when something cool is happening, like Bigs right now, it's like, oh, I think that's kind of fun.
You're like,
So, but yeah, but I definitely think racing abroad is on my goal list for next year.
that is amazing. Well, I can't wait to see what you do. You'll have to keep us posted about food, like what happens.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Italy's different than Greece. So what does their aid stations look like? Like that could be something that you could compare.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this isn't a personal goal necessarily, but so Coca Dona next year, the women's field is looking really sharp. And so a collective goal for the women of that race is that I would like for 5 of us or 3 of us maybe to be in the top 10 overall.
Wow.
So I think that we can probably make it happen. The women's field looked amazing. So, and I would like to hope that I would be one of them, but I think that would be a really good step in the correct direction for the women's race. If we could get into that overall top 10, that would be really exciting.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Quite some goals there, my
We'll
friend.
see what happens.
Quite some goals.
I know. Yeah, I know. Goal oriented.
What is your favorite link to run, whether it's race day or it's a training run? Do you have a secret mileage that you just really adore?
I actually really like running by time more
Okay.
so than by. So for me, it is a good day if I'm able to do, I guess if it's like out on the mountainous trails, if it's like a 6-hour day, that is awesome. So I like running for that time frame, usually in the mountains with a lot of elevation gain and altitude stuff and maybe some trail technicality. That probably winds up being 25 to 30 miles, maybe less, maybe like 20.
Wow.
Depends. Yeah. But I love stacking multiple long days in a row. I think that's really my favorite thing to do. Because the first day you're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. The second day you're like, oh my God, everything hurts. Like, how am I supposed to be able to still do this? And then something happens on that third day where you're just like, actually, this is fine. Like, I can still do this. And then if you're lucky enough to get a fourth day, usually the longer, or I guess like the more days of the longer time I spend running, I actually start to feel better. So yeah, but I would say, I don't know, that 6-hour, if I'm able to get out and run for 6 hours, that's a pretty good day.
Wow.
I'm pretty happy about that. I know, what a like psychotic answer.
6 hours. You go, Rachel. When you aren't running, what fuels you? What are you passionate about, Rachel?
Oh, I mean, I've talked about it a couple times, but I really do think the running community is what's kept me here for so long. So just, I think getting to make connections with people in general is really fun and exciting to me. So whether that's through a trail run or just going out to dinner, I love board games. So doing game nights and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. In my opinion, there's nothing better than getting to share the outdoors and beautiful, remote, wild places with people. So I don't know. What physically fuels me is I love cooking. So
Clearly, you're the grill master.
exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I just think when you spend that much time with yourself, you really have an opportunity to ask yourself a lot of hard questions and you don't have an escape. Like you have to address those questions. And usually I will when I'm running. So yeah, running is like a little therapy session.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Me sometimes, especially if I'm by myself.
For sure. Rachel, it has been amazing to get to know you and your story, and just so excited that you took time. You're a very busy individual, so I appreciate you so much. Do you have any final words of wisdom?
I'm not very wise. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running 200 miles. But But I think the thing that I always like to tell myself is that we're so much more capable than we think that we can. So if there's something that scares you, obviously, please prepare for it. But if you're prepared for it and you're mentally, if it's something that you want to do, you're going to figure out a way to make it happen, even if it's not on your first time around. So yeah, just remember that you can do hard things.
Dude, that's amazing. Well, Rachel, we cannot wait to see what else you do, especially going overseas and all the fun things, all the shenanigans you're going to get into. So we're really proud of you, especially knowing that you're an Alabama girl. So like I said, it was already a fan. So, and again, you came so highly recommended. Scott was like, well, you have to have her on the podcast. And I was like, absolutely. So again, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, I think he knows my cousin. I think that's how this all happened. Yeah. Well, anyway, funny.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me on.
I mean, what is not to love about Rachel? Absolutely phenomenal. She's amazing. Rachel, thank you again for taking the time to share your story, your heart. Keep smashing records, my friend. And let me just say this. Rachel is an elite athlete, and she took the time to be on this podcast to share her heart, her wisdom of knowledge. But also, I love the fact that she just goes out for the joy of running, that she's not necessarily trying to say, oh yeah, I've got this and I'm going to smash this, because every run is different and every moment is different and every day is different. And Rachel just exemplifies that. And I was in awe of this athlete, of this human being that I was getting to talk to, who is from this beautiful state of Alabama and is representing us all so well, not only as runners, whether you're a road runner or you're in the trails or you're an ultra, it doesn't matter, to have somebody like Rachel who is setting the bar and saying that, guys, not only do you cross your own finish line, but then you go back and you help others cross it. That's what the running community is about. I am absolutely in awe of Rachel and her heart. And again, the glitter and the swag, guys, she brings it all. Rachel's absolutely amazing. And again, I love how she said running is what you make it. It is up to you and what you pour into it. And I love that. That is such a great reminder, and that we get to do this. You don't have to, but we get to. And so again, not letting those negative feelings take over, those negative emotions when it's hard, when it's hot, when it's humid, when we just want to give up, lack of sleep, whatever it is, that we just keep going and that we keep pouring back into the community. And guys, she's just amazing. I love how she was like, hey, I have a race for you. Here's this timed race that I love. And she's definitely has me thinking about it. I'm eyeballing it, and I'm incredibly grateful for Rachel. And not only is, again, I say this all the time, this podcast isn't just for the community, it's for me too. I sit there and I listen, and I'm just not only just amazed at what you guys do, but also sitting there and then having somebody like Rachel at her caliber sit there and tell me, hey, you can do this too. Okay. So thank you, Rachel, for inspiring me, for being the person that you are, for being the athlete that you are, but most importantly, pouring back into what has given you so much. So thank you for exemplifying running so well in the community. And you're just an absolute beast, and I'm so grateful to get to know you. So thank you so much. Such a fangirl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, thank you to our podcast partners this month, UCP Mobile, Fresh Junkie Racing. Guys, check them out at runnerstory.com. You can also check them out at UCP Mobile. You can also check them out on freshjunkieracing.com as well. We love them. We thank them for all that they do. Again, not only for the nonprofits that they are, but also for providing such great running experiences for our community. We are just super blessed to be able to get to do what we do and to have the partnerships that we have. So thank you for believing in the running community. Thank you for believing in this podcast, and thank you for who you are. We are just absolutely blown away by that. As always, thank you to Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services. We're incredibly thankful for you, for pouring back into this running community, using your gifts and your talents and your time. It is so important that we make sure that from editing to sound to all the things that you guys enjoy what you're hearing. And so Greg Gilliard does such a phenomenal job of that. I am the least tech savvy person there is. And so being a podcast host has not been the easiest with doing online interviews, but Gray is amazing at trying to recover stuff and make it sound good. So we're incredibly thankful for his services. Guys, make sure you check out the Run Your Story website, including the blog. Dave pours into that. You can also check out our booking agents, Scott and Stefan, but also at what Gray has built with their tech services into Run Your Story. Guys, whatever you need for your website vision, he has got you. And so thank you to Gilliard Tech Services. Guys, if you need a website built, need to redo it, he is your man. To our Patreon family members, thank you. We're so grateful to have you. We love you guys. We thank you for who you are. We thank you for pouring into the running community. We thank you for pouring into us. You guys keep us going. You keep us centered and you keep us encouraged. And that is so important. So thank you to every single Patreon family member, and thank you for the sacrifices that you make for this podcast. We would not be where we are today without you. Guys, it's never too late to join the Patreon family. You can go to runyourstory.com to find out more. We hope that we make you proud. Thank you to everyone who listens. We hope that you share, like, and comment. We love hearing everything. We love all the feedback because your stories matter, and that's how they get out there, is by sharing them. And that being said, until next time, guys, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.